Charms! Today I'm going to be doing my August TBR video for you. I kind of failed a little bit at the owls that I tried to do in July. If you watched my recent Let's Chat video where I did some kind of life updates and told you about some channel changes that I'm going to be making, then you'll totally understand why that was. Although I am curious if I go through everything that I actually did read, because I read a lot of like manga and graphic novels, if those could be applied. So I think I might end up doing that, seeing which ones I actually did pass, whether it had been unintentionally or not, and then potentially do my newts in September during like back to school season, because I feel like it just makes sense to do it then. So for August, I'm not going to do the newts. I'm going to do my own TBR that I have sitting here. So the first book on my August TBR is Thrawn Alliances by Timothy Zahn. Oh my god, I read the first Thrawn book last month, or this month, the beginning of the month. I read it really quick because I was like so into it. But after reading that first book, Thrawn ended up being one of my favorite characters within the Star Wars universe, which I was completely like blindsided by. I was not expecting that at all, especially because I'm always on the side of the rebels and Thrawn works as an Imperial Admiral. So I was just like not thinking that I would love him as much as I did. But oh my god, I was like screaming at the end of that book because of something that happened, and now I'm dying to read this book, and I'm really excited about it because Thrawn is teaming up with Darth Vader in this book. So that in itself is going to be like incredible. But also this one is told a little bit differently because you get Padme's perspective too, and I believe you get her perspective in the past, so it kind of flip-flops between what's going on in the present and what's going on in the past. That just sounds like it's gonna be awesome. If it's anything like the first book, it will be another 5-star read for me, so I'm pretty eager to start this one. The next book on my TBR is Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. This is a book that I've been meaning to pick up for so long, and I finally got myself a copy, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. It follows a girl named Evie who lives in San Francisco, and she is the assistant to a superhero, so she has to do all kinds of like crazy tasks, and I'm sure that they're even worse because they're for a very demanding superhero. And then one night Evie has to actually pose as her boss, and she finds out that she has powers of her own, and I believe like the rest of the story is going to be her kind of coming into her own right as a superhero and trying to figure things out in her own life and like juggle having powers and being an assistant and, you know, being a functioning human. So actually the third book in the series just came out in July, and I just read an interview with Sarah Kuhn, and she's going to be writing 3 more books set in the series, and I know that they're all companions, so each book follows a different character within the series, and then it's going to repeat that same sequence for the next set of novels, and there's going to be a novella coming out next year. But what I was most excited about is that there is this like super famous dog at the Ripped Bodice, which is the romance bookstore, and there's a dog in the third book that is based on that character, and Sarah tweeted about it, and he was at her signing and he signed some books with his paw print and just sounded really adorable. But like I said, I've been meaning to read this forever because I love superhero comics, so I just can't believe I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm looking forward to it, and I will definitely let you guys know what I think. Then I'm planning on reading In an Absent Dream by Shauna McGuire. This is the 4th book in the Wayward Children series. I really love this series like with my whole heart. The first 3 books are each so amazing, and they're all such different stories, and the writing is just so good, and they're so short, so quick, but it's like one of my all-time favorite series ever. So when Jane from It's Jane Lindsay sent me a copy of this, I was so excited, and it's definitely like a high priority read for me. Next on my list is It's Your Universe by Ashley Eckstein. I talked about this book in my recent book haul. Ashley is actually the voice actress that voices Ahsoka Tano on The Clone Wars, and she's also the creator and designer of Her Universe, which is the clothing brand of like fandom clothes for women. And she's just a really inspiring, really amazing person, and I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I know that it's illustrated by Ashley Taylor, and I really like her artwork, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It looks like it's going to be a pretty quick read read, but I'm really looking forward to getting into it. Next on my list is The Good, the Bad, and the Undead by Kim Harrison. This is the second book in the Hollows series. As you guys might have seen, I've been reading Dead Witch Walking, which is the first book in the Hollows series, and I really loved it. It's an urban fantasy series. There's like 13 books. A lot of you have sent me the actual order that they go in because I was not organized in my last book haul, so thank you for that. But I am really looking forward to reading more of this. I really love it. It follows a girl named Rachel who is a witch, her friend Ivy who's a vampire, and this pixie named Jenks. They just get into so many hijinks. It's so good. There's lots of supernatural characters. Like I said, it's urban fantasy. It's really enjoyable, and I'm definitely picking this one up this month. And then the last thing on my TBR is volumes 9 through 13 of Yona of the Dawn. I recently watched the Yona of the Dawn anime and I really loved it, but it just ended at a horrible spot. And I know that there are some OVAs, but I haven't seen them yet. But I need to learn more about this last dragon and just where the story is gonna go. And it kills me because there are like 28 volumes of Yona of the Dawn, but in America they only have released up to volume 13, and that one just came out like a week or two ago. So I know that I'm gonna be binging these because I love the series and I'm gonna be pretty much reading it for the rest of my life, I think, with how many volumes there still are to go. But it'll be worth it because it's a really beautiful fantasy story about a girl named Yona who is the princess, and she has a father who is a pacifist. He's completely against violence, and she's like in love with her cousin. He used to like come and visit the kingdom and stuff, and then he's visiting one night and she sees him killing her father and he takes over the throne, and then she goes on the run with Hawk, who is the captain of her guard, and from there they have to go and find these 4 mythical dragons in order for Yona to be able to reclaim her kingdom. But the villain, who is like the cousin, Suwon, he's so interesting, and like despite him being the villain, I really like him and I'm really curious like what he is doing with his storyline. I feel like he has the potential to be redeemed. That is partially why I'm so into it, but also I need Yona and Hawk to get together because they're so cute. But anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna read all of these. So those are my top priority reads on my TBR for August. Let me know what you are planning on reading. Let me know if you've heard of any of the books that I've mentioned or if you've read any of them. And I almost knocked over a pile of books. That is all that I have for this video, so I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!